to subscribe. If you are new here, you are absolutely welcome. It's another Quarantine Diaries with Thenjiwe. And today I have my favorite gospel artist. He's my prayer partner. He just doesn't know it. He's my best friend. He doesn't know it yet. Is my absolute favorite gospel artist with over 5.1 million views on one of his songs, Getsemane, here on YouTube. And I think I watched at least 1 million times to contribute to that 5.5 million views on YouTube, which is a big achievement for South Africa. But let me not waste your time. Let me bring him on so he can tell us what he's been up to during a lockdown. Asimishayele izandla, Sbuh, Noah. Wayigcina ngihlombe nje ubizwe nje kushaya ihlombe. Wayigcina before lockdown.
Before lockdown ngikhumbulani. Hey, phela le nto bese inento.
Inento yayo yenzayo, inento yayo.
How are you, my sister?
I am good, Sbuh. So babili sabase KZN, so babili singamaZulu, but sometimes we have ama audience ethu angasikhulumi isiZulu. So sometimes we have to speak in English, but I always like to ask, because we also have people who prefer us maskuluma language who are here for our Zulu, are like, yes, my people. So ngicela ukubuza ke, please let us know, English or Zulu, or a bit of both.
I answer that though, Thenjiwe.
Pardon?
I think I can answer that.
Please answer.
On behalf of the people.
Mm-hmm.
I think let's do both, but let's lean more towards English because, like you said, we've got people from all different walks of life, not just like around like outside South Africa, but even within South Africa, we've got like other languages. You know what I mean? So I think it'll be best. So
okay, I just needed to ask. I'm glad you're the one who said that. Because abantu bami
ungasikhuluma isingisi but I just ungasikhuluma isingisi I just wanted to ungasikhuluma isingisi I just wanted
So abantu bami banokuba njalo ke bathi nje abafuna isingisi, so guys, you will bear with us. Sibusiso.
Yebo, my sister. How are you?
Ngikuze yini isibongo sakho sangempela. Mangithi sangempela. Angisho ukuthi lezi zinyakusona esangempela phela.
Ngicela sivumelane ukuthi ngeke ucrack ama-joke kule conversation
No.
Ngizohleka mina nomphelo phela.
Comedy is not a joke. Ngicela nje usichazele ukuthi for anyone who might not know Sbuh Noah, for anyone who enjoys your music but doesn't really, there are more than 1.2 billion people in Africa.
Right.
So in Africa alone, there's bound to be people who do not know you.
That's true.
Let alone the other countries. So can you introduce yourself to us? Tell us who you are, what you do, as if we've never heard of you.
That's okay, Sister Thenjiwe. First of all, thank you so much. This is a dream come true for me, Jay. We're going to given a conversation with Sister Thenjiwe, even better on her amazing YouTube page, and of course we're also on her Facebook. Thank you so much for this moment. My name is Sibusiso Mthembu. Desmond is my middle name. I know that you've heard other names, but like on my ID document, it's Sibusiso Desmond Mthembu. Born and raised in a township called Umlazi, which is in KwaZulu-Natal, one of our provinces here in South Africa. And as time went on, I went to live in Nanda, which is also another township in KwaZulu-Natal. But right now, I am based in Pretoria. Most people know me as a member of a group called Joyous Celebration, which is a gospel group, a huge ensemble from here in South Africa. But I am a gospel artist, standalone gospel artist outside Joyous Celebration. I'm also a TV presenter. I'm also a medical scientist by profession. In a nutshell, though, that's how I would probably introduce myself, Sister Thenjiwe.
Medical scientist, gospel musician. Zihlanganaphi lezi zinto?
Yo, mfethu. Yes, to be honest with you, I backled nje noNkulunkulu my introducer le ndaba ye ministry because I was born in a I come from very humble beginnings. Nkhuliswe umzali oyedwa. My mom raised me, and unfortunately she lost her job. I was very young at the time, so she literally forced me to focus on my studies and basically said to me, look, this is how we're going to get out of this situation. So that forced me to literally shut down on anything else but focus on my studies. So that's all I've ever wanted to do. I wanted to be a health science professional. I didn't care which profession, as long as I was doing health sciences, because I was very good in biology. I was also very good in physics as well as maths. So I knew that I wanted to focus on that. The music thing literally came. I moved from as far as my health science is concerned, and joined the church here in Joburg, and then I served in the music ministry because I knew I liked music. I mean, I never thought I would do it professionally. I just knew that I liked it, So I started doing it, and over time they made me the worship leader, and I would get really positive responses from people. At that time, I'm still doing my undergrad at Wits University, and then I had no idea that Ubabli Mkize, would come through to the church and just, spy on some of the vocalists, because that's one of the way that they recruit their members. So he actually happened to see me doing praise and worship, and he asked me to join. And of course, I wasn't going to let that opportunity just pass by. So that's basically how it all started. It was unplanned. I never even considered it, but it's something that literally caught me along the way. And looking at where I am now, I'm really grateful. I know it's different things, but hey, it works. It works.
Never miss praise and worship. That's where you may get your big break.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a question, but I need you to listen carefully, because ukhona uzakwenu osemculeni engake ngambuza naye ukuthi how do you cope between studying and doing music? Wangiphendula ngokuthi, Sis Thenjiwe, I do not copy, I do my own stuff at school. How do you cope between the two?
Also, it's Zogalang. Okay, I'm wasting time. I'm sorry. Sis Thenjiwe, you're not being fair. Okay, how do I cope? Wow, it's one of the most frequently asked questions, especially on my social media, because as you can imagine, we've got a lot of people that follow us on social media, and they see the stuff that we do. I mean, besides my studies, I've got obviously Joyous Celebration, but I'm also Sbuh as an artist. I'm also a TV presenter, as I do one of the gospel shows in one of the stations here in South Africa. And I'm also involved in one of the organizations that I started a couple of years ago. So people do ask me, how do I cope? And I always say to them that, look, I don't think it's ever easy to follow such demanding careers at the same time. But I also feel like if you put your mind into something and you are strict with yourself, because I literally sat down. I mean, obviously it's locked down now, but on normal days I will sit down and I would literally plan my day. So if I say I wake up at 6 o'clock and then between 6 and 9, I'm doing this, between 9 and 2, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So it just means you need to be more hands-on with whatever that you do, but also, don't procrastinate nothing, like whatever, because I know that if I don't study, then that time I'll never get it back. You know what I mean? So I'll do that to the best of my ability, so that when I move on to the next thing, I know that I've already done that. So it really takes a lot of planning, a lot of hard work as well. It takes a lot of sacrifice as well, because I've had to sacrifice some things to push the other things. Sometimes I'll have to skip Joyous Celebration rehearsals so that I can push my studies. Sometimes I have to skip my studies so I can push my TV stuff. So it's not easy, but as long as you're driven and as long as you've got, of course, support is everything. And I've really been blessed to have I mean, my supervisor was the best, like literally best person who's ever been part of. And of course, to our celebration, you're able to explain your situation. This is what you're doing, and can they accommodate you? So support also is everything. But like I said, as long as you put your mind into something, anything is possible. And I think I'm a proof of that. I was supposed to be graduating next week, man.
How does that make you feel?
What, the graduation thing?
Yes. The fact that you couldn't graduate, but you still get your certificate.
No, of course, they're going to do something called virtual graduation. We still don't know what that actually means. But Thenjiwe, you're from KZN. You know what a big deal a graduation is.
It is a big deal. Like every parent wants that photo in their room divider. It's a big deal.
Like the whole family comes through, and you take those few members, because remember, you've got like a few tickets to go inside for the graduation, but you buy clothes, you get your hoodie. It's just a whole thing. And my family was so excited they were going to come to Pretoria for the graduation. But fortunately, it's not my first degree, so we do have those pictures, the good room divide. It's just that my mom was so excited. But I mean, it's understandable. It's locked down, but I'm just grateful that I can be the best that I can be, Thenjiwe, and be able to inspire umntwana osekhaya, because we're constantly fighting young people who think that they're talented, so they don't need to go to school. Who think just because I'm a brilliant, I don't know, soccer player or comedian or this and that, I don't need to go to school. So I'm all for talent. I'm all for pursuing your dreams, but I'm also saying it's so nice to see young South Africans who are educated and excelling also in whatever field they choose.
And I see a big difference between artists, working talent that's gone to school, and the ones who haven't. Because the ones who've gone to school, you might not go for your talent, but the fact that you can read the contract.
Right.
The fact that you can write the contract. The fact that your mind is more open.
Thank you, ma'am.
Books will open your mind. You even know about places before you get there. When you read a novel, you already know about Italy, about New York before you get there. And it is harder to manipulate you, because there's a lot of manipulation in this industry. Because if people don't read the contracts, people don't ask the questions. And someone who's educated is also able to understand that this is show business. Showbiz. So you can't just concentrate on the show. You have to understand the business. And in order to understand the business, you have to be educated. Otherwise, you will always be that starving artist. You will always be that, ave talented, oh, ungambone nje.
And we've heard that so many times. But Thenji, can I just add something on what you're saying? And I love the fact that a lot of young people do follow us. So this is so important for me. And I always talk to young people about this. I personally think that, and I can say this because I've been through that stream as far as higher education and things like that is concerned. I'm glad you said that, Thenji, because as an artist, I can't be saying, Guti, you can see or you can hear an artist who's educated, because it's going to sound like I'm blowing my own horn. But I'm glad that
you can. And usually the ones who are educated don't show us their underwear. I'm going to
get my underwear, but my point was that so a lot of young people who then ask me, I mean, look, I'm talented in comedy, for example, or I'm a brilliant musician. Then why must I go to school? And what course should I study? And I always say to them, look, just because you are good in for example, in whatever, music or soccer, it doesn't necessarily, for me, it doesn't matter what you study, because normally whatever it is that you're going to choose when you get to university or a technical, it's going to be something that you found passion in. You read about it, maybe you leaned more into it because you enjoyed the subject, and that's a good thing, because your gut will most likely direct you in the right path. So I always say that it doesn't matter, as long as you go to university. And you were saying something very, very important, and I agree with all your points. But I want to add this, that beside just how being in an institution like a university helps you in terms of some of the values that you're speaking about. But I also think it literally exposes you to the world, because you get into an environment with people from all walks of life, Thenjiwe, people who believe in different things than you, and you need to learn to tolerate, you need to learn to accept, you need to learn to understand, and you need to be willing to listen so that you are able, because whatever environment you are going to go to as a comedian, as a musician, as a doctor, you are going into an environment of different people that come from different aspects. So university, or let me just say higher education, helps you also in that sense. It opens your mind. It also helps you with your people skills, how you interact with people. So it's not just about education. And I always say this to young people, that if you're going to go to university to get a paper, then you would have missed the whole point, because anybody can get a paper. But when you get to that interview, they're going to listen how you speak. They're going to ask you weird questions like, what's the most difficult situation you found yourself in? And if the only thing you know is sitting down and writing a piece of paper, then you're more likely not going to get the job. So I'm saying that for me, the reason I'm pushing education is because I think it's high time that we get young people who are not just good at what they do because they got A's in maths and A's in these subjects, but also they got good people skills. They can communicate, they can critically think, they can solve problems, they can accommodate people and things like that. And in fact, in music, we have a real struggle as far as people, the people that were within the industry. But I guess it's not just a music thing; it's just a general thing. But I was just adding the importance of education even beyond your amazing talents.
I do think we have to respect every profession, and if you can, or as soon as you can, because not everyone has the finances to go and get educated. But as soon as you can, save your money, go and educate yourself. Can you imagine if you went to hospital and they told you, this is going to be your doctor who's going to look after you, and then you ask your doctor, so doctor, where did you qualify? I said, no, I was born with it. I'm just talented. I was born, when I was a child, I used to inject oranges. It's my calling. I was born with it. Would you trust that doctor? Would you want them to operate on you? See, that's why you must be careful which doctor is doing what, because we know in South Africa, the doctors are being exposed.
Yes, yeah.
No, we need you, the doctors, to go to help other doctors. So now the Dr. Kumalos and Dr. Malingas, where are they when we have COVID-19 to fight with? So where are you quarantining? Where are you locked down?
I'm locked down at my place in Pretoria. In fact, I was planning to go home because I don't know if you know about this, but the government, we went from stage 5 to stage 4 in South Africa. And then they gave us, I think, about 7 days to change location, because you find that there are people who are stuck somewhere. So if you needed to go home and things like that. So I was planning to go home, but then I heard also that the government is also, with stage 4, it's also allowing productions to continue. So TV programs can start shooting as long as they follow the right procedures and things like that. And the show that I do on that station I work for is
you can name the station. We are not a TV channel. You can name the station. Name the station, name the show, tell us what time so we can come and support you.
Thank you, Sister. I needed to hear that you say that. I'm a freelancer. I'm a presenter for Invuselelo, which is a gospel show that showcases gospel artists here in South Africa. It airs every Friday at 6 o'clock on Dumisa TV channel 340 on DSTV. So literally they've had to repeat some shows because as soon as lockdown came through, we couldn't shoot more episodes. So as soon as the government said we could start shooting, they sent us emails and said, don't move. Stay where you are because we might be shooting in the next few days. So literally, I'm still stuck here, but I'm enjoying it. Yes, thank you. I'm a problem. The winter No, I just think, and this is what people don't believe. And I guess I understand when they meet me and I'm talking to you like this, it doesn't make sense to them. But I'm an introvert. I prefer being in a quiet space on my own. I do a lot of work. I get a lot of work done. You've never heard me saying I'm going to the mall to do this and that. And the time that I have, if it's free time, I prefer to spend it, by myself and doing the things that I can only do in a quiet space. So it's locked down for people, but for me, it's Happy New Year.
Can I tell you something, Sbuh?
I'm listening.
I work like a solar panel. I
Right.
like to collect my energy and reserve it for the right moments. I
Yeah,
got here over 2 weeks ago because I was first stuck in the USA, and then
Right.
I was able to travel back to London. So
Okay.
now I'm in London. First 2 weeks, it's fine. I was quarantining.
Yeah.
But even after that, I haven't left the house. I've just been in the house. I'm
Right.
enjoying connecting with people through social media, and I see no reason to go.
It's
I
crazy.
see no reason to go anywhere because our job requires us to be with people. So I'm enjoying my me time. I'm enjoying being with me. I'm enjoying thinking in a quiet place.
Right.
And
Right.
I'm happy. And everyone's like, you haven't left the house. You have to leave the house. You have to do something. Do what? I'm happy. When that
Exactly.
time comes, I'll have enough energy to do
I am
that.
the same. I literally exactly like you. Literally, Thenjiwe. Sometimes I even forget. I need to azazi moto AC driver. So normally, sometimes I'm thinking, yo, my car has just been sitting outside. Can't be batteries of figure say sheet. So I leave the house to just start the car, move it around the yard, and then
Come
put
back.
it back. But really, man, but I think it shows when us stage you would say, people adapt. We are just, it's just in our DNA. I don't think there's anything that could ever get us down. You present the situation, people think critically, how can we fix this, how can we make the best of the situation? And I think that's what makes it easier for us. We just like that. It's a human nature to try and adapt in any situation. Yeah.
And in everything, we also count our blessings because some people do not have the option to do what we are able to do. Some people have to go to work. Some people are sharing a space with a lot of other people, so they can't get the me time we're talking about. So some of the smallest things are a big privilege. So we must always appreciate that. So, Sbuh, I visited your Instagram.
Oh, Lord.
Without your permission, but I'm just Thenjiwe to you, so I'm allowed to do that.
Of course.
I can do that.
That's
I
right.
need you to explain to us where you were and what was happening and what memories the pictures that I chose
my God.
yeah. What memories do they evoke?
Okay. Oh, that is the show that I was talking about. Actually, on that day, they had changed my set. Do you see how beautiful it looks? Because it used to say, humble beginnings, because it was like the beginning of the show. But obviously, a lot of people who appreciated the show, so they made it bigger. And that was the first week of my shoot for my new season, which is already airing. And yeah, that beautiful set. I remember that.
Please remind us the name of the show and when we can watch it.
Thank you, Sister Thenjiwe. The name of the show is Imvuselelo. It airs every Friday at 6 o'clock on channel 340, which is Dumisa TV. Every Friday, we do have repeats on Saturday at 9 o'clock and also on Monday at 10 a.m.
Guys, please do watch the show because the more people watch, the more the channel wants to keep the show on. And the repeats do not count. Watch the show when it first airs to show your support so that they know that you are enjoying what your favorites are doing on TV. Otherwise, it doesn't count. If you're gonna catch up, it doesn't count. They think nobody's watching the show. And also, please do follow Sbuh. He's got a YouTube channel. I'm gonna leave a link here. Please go and subscribe. It's beautiful music. It's beautiful. One of the videos has over 5.5 million views, and that is just proof that's what he does. Then come back and thank me later. And when you go to his channel, just write here because of this Thenjiwe.
Ah,
So that he knows. So that's why when we are out of lockdown, he takes me out for lunch.
oh my God, it's Thenjiwe. Okay, I don't know how much time we have. Okay,
We
let me
have all
summarize.
the time.
This was a day I will probably never forget. This was the first time I was in a private jet. Ne? I was due to be back in Joburg, and these guys who booked me, God bless them, thank you so much for the booking. They had, unfortunately, they couldn't get me the earliest flight to get back for the show that I had this side. And I had to, I'm a very nice person generally, but when you're going to mess up, because anything that mess up my credibility, it really harms me, you know, and I don't want people to ever think that I'm not responsible. So I had to be really harsh and be like, guys, I don't know what you have to do, but please get me to Joburg. Those guys have already paid me, they've already advertised, I need to be there. So they had to, you know, make a few calls, speak to some people. Next thing they're like, okay, let's go. I'm like, where are we going? And they're like, no, it's fine, we're gonna get you. And then next thing, we go to this airport. When I stage, I know you know that place because I need to when you are a private jet. Some of us, we don't know. So we go to this weird small place. I can't even remember the name of it in Durban. And then it's a small airport. And then on the other side is like this small flights. I'm like, oh my goodness. They're like, no, it's fine. We found one of our friends who's flying out and we asked, can you catch a lift? I'm like, really? So, oh my goodness. Yeah, no, it was great, but it was also scary because you know those small things, man.
Yeah.
But at least like
beautiful.
I got here in time. I was able to attend my gig. So
it's also proof that anything is achievable. Man. You don't have to own a private jet. It's always similar. You know how I got here? I've got friends that I'm scared of. You know those friends, you're like, I've got this person's number, but I can't really send them a message. And we are on thingy. We are on, there's a WhatsApp group for some very big top comedians where you're like, yes, I've worked with him, but what do I say? And when people talk and you're like, I don't belong here. Why did they even put me on the group? Things like that. And then one day, I needed to travel from one country to another, and it was a similar story. So someone was asking, how's everyone doing? So I decided, let me respond. I said, I'm stuck here. I need to be there. And I said, oh, can you be at this airport by this time? So, engakhali ifela embelekweni. Engakhali ifela embelekweni. And people mustn't judge us by the lifestyle they see. Because now they think, oh, no, a private jet.
Ooh, that's why I can have an change. Every time I do something, I'm a caption so that people don't ever think that we're trying to portray a specific facade, whereas we are at a specific level. So I meeting in a private jet in given
especially in South Africa, where we are known for living a lifestyle we cannot afford.
Oh yeah.
And it's like when we travel first class, sometimes I've bought an economy class, but the pilot loves my work. But the crew members love my work, and they're like, oh, there's a spare seat on business class or first class. Would you like to come? And of course, I'm not going to say no. So it's not everything that you see that we've paid for. It doesn't reflect how much we have and what we can afford and how we are wasting our money. Because some of these things are a waste of money.
Yep.
Because sometimes the business class is 200,000 rand to go, say, to New York, and then economy class is 12,000 rand. Thenjiwe from Guamash, why would I spend that much money?
Yeah.
So it's usually people that when we try business class, when you're traveling for business, people will book you a business class. And these are companies that have business companies and business relationships with the airlines. Or sometimes it's an upgrade. Sometimes because our job requires us to fly so many times, we get some points.
Sure.
So yeah, don't think we are those irresponsible people who just. Let's move on. I talk too much.
Oh my goodness! So that's one of my best friends. I met him at Gujarat celebration. Kamala Kumkulu Pepe. He's from Zimbabwe originally, but he stays here. So I was complaining that he doesn't visit. I discovered I've discovered that I love to host people. Ngiyathanda ukuwosa. Uma kwathi uyeza nje hamba ngothenga inyama and ngibraye so that we can have a great time. So he came through and I just remember the day that I bought so much meat. Angithi angazi ngiyaqala nokuhosta. So I bought so much. He had to carry it ngey'khaftini. Oh mawayela so manje sathenga ama-Tupperware. So we had to put them kuma-Tupperware so that we can take them home. But yeah, that's my best friend right there.
That's beautiful. And I'm sorry if you see me looking down. There's something I'm looking for that I want to tell you. I'm not being disrespectful.
And the ngisho ngesiZulu ngamabomu ngifuna ukubanga ngizokubamba. Okay. Thenjiwe, this one. This one is from back in the day. That's my dad. Unfortunately, he passed on in 2006. That is me this side, on Thenjiwe's side. And then that's my brother on the other side. Kwakune party actually at my neighbor's house. So Ubaba was thengele ingubo, and I remember that day we actually asked him if it was Christmas, because usually we only get clothes, we'd only get clothes when it's Christmas. So
Christmas clothes,
like, why are we getting new clothes? Is it Christmas? No, we're going to a party. Yeah, so this is this is the only picture of my dad I have with me and my brother, or even with me, like literally most of his things burnt down when his place, his house burnt down. So this was the only picture we were able to salvage, and it's the only memory I have of him. By the way, Thenji, me and my dad were born on the same day. I was born on the 10th of March.
Not the same year, I hope.
Of course not, Thenji, please.
You never know. I just have to confirm.
Can you imagine though? Like that, I think I'm twins, most. But yeah, we were born on the same day. Was along 10th March. I was born on the 10th of March. So literally every time I celebrate my birthday, that picture you probably got it from this year, because I do post it just to say I remember this man, and I'm grateful that he's my dad.
When you host me, you'll have to tell me the story about the house burning down.
Ngizokuxoxela ukuthi and ngiyabonga ukuthi usho ukuthi when mawusuza la ngoba hey inkulu indaba. Sbuh for worship encounter. Oh, so I was so angithi manje phela sengiyayitshela ke manje. Angithi manje sis Thenjiwe, we are artists in our own rights. So I recorded my album about more than a year and released it. Yeah, I think it's a year old now. And I've always wanted to do a tour. And one of the places I wanted to visit was Cape Town. Not Cape. Yeah, I did go to Cape Town, and then the next place I was going to go to was Swaziland. I've got amazing support base there. People who really love my ministry. So we were going to have that show on the 28th, if I'm not mistaken, of March. But because of quarantine, COVID-19, we had to literally cancel everything. But we have not canceled that show. We're still going to have it immediately when the whole thing, disappears. We just don't know what the date will be. But I'm excited. I love doing these, man. Thenji. Oh, man. They're so nice. It's like up close and personal with my fans. Oh! So remember that show that I do on Dumisa TV that plays at 6 o'clock every Friday on channel 340 DSTV. So that actually was the first episode I shoot about 4 episodes a day. So you'll see me probably wearing 4 different things. So we decided to open the show with Rebecca Malope for obvious reasons. I mean, she's a legend. She has And quite frankly, we've been dying to have her on my show. So I was so humbled to get the opportunity to interview her.
That is beautiful. Must have been so exciting. I was going to ask you what was the experience like when you interviewed her.
But it's Rebecca Malope. But let me tell you why it was easier. But let me also tell you why I was a bit nervous still. I think a year or so before that shoot, I was working. If you're watching Gospel Time, which is a show that she hosts on SABC2, I was a backing vocalist on that show for 3 years. So literally the last 3 years, I've been a backing vocalist there. So as you can imagine, from being a backing vocalist on her show to now having to interview her, so it was nice. It was like I'm meeting her for the first time, but it was like, okay, now I have to ask her the questions, and I'm like so starstruck at the same time. But really, Sister, I think more than anything for me, because I always send these pictures to my mom because she's a big fan. It just shows in Ubutu has nothing to do with where God is taking you. Because literally, I pinch myself every time when I see things like this happen. But then it's just a constant reminder that where you come from will not dictate where you are going, as long as you continue to apply yourself, as long as you continue to believe that you can do great things. So it's always humbling, and it's just a brilliant way of making you grateful for what God has done in your life.
And another thing a lesson I'm learning from what you are saying is that never look down upon anyone, because your vocal backup singer will be interviewing you in his own show one day. So never look down upon anyone.
I like that. Oh, but okay, Thenjiwe, how many pictures are we gonna do?
Don't worry, it's my show. Whenever you are a guest.
Okay, so again, it's a long story, but let me shorten it. So I've never, Sister Thenjiwe, before that, I had never done these things of going to the spa and doing massages and all. And really, the only reason is because I don't like people touching me. I don't like I don't, and that was the main reason I didn't go to those things. So I'm also an ambassador for MTN, which is a sponsor for Joy Celebration. So that day they decided, because we had really done a lot of work on our social media to push the music of Joy Celebration streaming via MTN. So they decided to actually take us out that weekend. So hey, and then they were saying that we were gonna go to a spa and we were gonna get massages. I was like, guys, I don't do that. And can you imagine? Fast forward, Fast forward, I think I've been there 3 times already. Every time I go to Durban, I always go there. It was the best thing I've ever experienced in my life. I was like, why have I not been doing this? Like, it's just amazing. So yeah, that's where that picture was taken.
So guys, I hope you heard. When people offer you to take you for massages, go and try it out. Go and try it out. Never say no. No. As far as I know, Aushadile.
This one.
As far as I know, Aushadile.
As far as you know.
As far as I know.
It's true.
It's true.
Yeah.
Are you planning anything soon? Because we want to help you out.
Oh, sweet. You got to ask him.
I think it's sweet.
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
So I've got a lot of beautiful ladies who are watching now, who are single, who want to be Mrs. Noah, who want to be Mrs. Ntembu. So I want to know what qualities you are looking for and how much you are willing to love. Are you willing to fully love your spouse?
Definitely. I'm willing. I think I'm a very loving person. I'm also very considerate, and I think I also need that from my spouse. I think the main qualities would be a humble person. I need someone who obviously respectful, who is loving, someone who is driven. I'm very goal driven, so I need someone who will understand that and also be wanting to pursue their own things, because I love supporting my spouse as well as they would support me as well. But yeah, I think, oh gosh, azane noNkulunkulu nawe man, lokhu I can't stress it enough. Ngiyacela Nkosi yami azane nje noNkulunkulu. It will make our life very easier, and also be ready to have lots of kids.
Lots of kids. When will you be ready to love them enough that you will save money instead of buying your own shoes, nishare ukuyigqoka ama-pumps akhe?
All I'm saying is, Sister Thenjiwe, I will be willing to do the best I can to make sure that she's happy. Is that okay?
It made her happy.
Anything that will make her happy, I'll be. Kodwa long.
Okay, ke sewumtholile-ke, and she says, if ungithanda ngicela wenze nje.
Yo, hayi Sister Thenjiwe, kanti yini inkinga yakho?
Ngicela wenze nje, ungitshengise ukuthi uyangithanda.
And manje igama lakhe leli libhalwe lapho futhi.
Yes.
I think my problem is I don't have a tattoo as I don't have a tattoo as we speak, and I've never been interested in having a tattoo. But I think I'll have a problem then if it'll take a tattoo for her to believe that I'm committed to her. So no, I don't know. I don't think I'll do that. I don't. Ngiyasaba lento lena.
Would you be impressed if yena-ke umfice seshaye kanje ebhala uSbuh?
No, Thenjiwe. I think I okay. I almost said a woman's body. I think a body is a temple of God, and and I'm not against people doing tattoos and things, because they have reasons. But I'm just saying, I think she's perfect the way she is. She doesn't have to do anything extra to impress me.
Mawufika-ke usuthi hayi cha ngiyamthanda lona unawo wonke ama-qualities, kungcono ngimane ngihambe ngiyomlobola.
Ngakho-ke.
Suyafika-ke ekhaya kubo nabakhongi niphethe imali iwukheshi bese bethi mkhonyana sicela ulinde ekhishini.
Yo, I will literally hope that she doesn't live there, because if ehlala lapho.
This is a parent home. This is where she lives. This is where she grew up.
And they
cooked for you. And they already gave you your first, they've already given you your first course while you were still outside before you entered the house. That was cooked in that kitchen.
Oh my God.
And when she comes to visit you, she usually brings you a scarf in.
From that kitchen.
That's one thing my grandmother always told me. Never eat food from a kitchen you haven't seen.
Yo, Jesu. Oh ma. But Keshem, Anna. But I know. I say nami mfethu sizoyihlanganisa lento siyilungise ngoba ngiclean mina siswami yo uma wangikhulisa sasicleana ekhaya ngeke lonto ukuthi umfana you don't wash dishes, umfana you don't cook. So I cook, I clean, I do my washing, everything in this house. So she would have to get on board. So
now you explain to her, Mina, I come from a different home. We clean, we wash, we cook, and my mother is coming to visit this weekend. Please, I expect you to cook something for her so that she can see. And then you walk in with your mother and you...
Thenjiwe, angeke mfethu lo muntu yaza awumpainti kahle nje yini umenza umuntu omubi kanjena. How?
No, but this is who she is.
No, wakho lo njena how yini umenza abe uqala wangcola wafaka ama-tattoo manje yabona ke ekhaya kuthiwa ibhode liyaqhutha kuthiwa ikhishi liyaqhutha istop awukwazi ushiya istop usixhutha kanjani. No, she can't do that. But I guess on another note, I think I would also try and identify her strong points and her weak points. I mean, if she's really that bad in the kitchen, it's okay because I can cook, and we can most likely find someone who can also assist in that. Because we know mom time yeah. So I think
Okay,
I'll.
yeah. Now she decides, Uguti, I do really want to impress you. I will go and take a culinary course so that I can
Thank you.
cook for my
Thank
husband. And she
Uh,
says, I am now ready. I can impress. Bring your friends. Bring all your celebrity friends because I've got a special meal. Amanamendela ipizza kabhontshisi.
I was gonna say that. What the hell is that? I was gonna say that before I call my friends and family members, ngicela aqale enze example ngami. Angenze nje example ukuthi okay, you know, you're wanting my perfect wedding. Mase kuthiwa sekuyocheckwa ikhekhe, kuyocheckwa in. Nami ngicela enze kanjalo kuqala. Aqala serve mina as she would be serving the family tomorrow, so that I know exactly what to expect. Sisithenji. Ikhatlari yakuphi le abefunda kuyona?
Mhlawumbe befunda la ngithi we teach people go YouTube, we do things, or maybe befunda online, or she's
Let's
just trying to be creative.
let's just say I will make sure that I find her the best school if she decides to go and learn how to cook.
So you'll be willing.
I will be willing. I would be.
Okay, let us have a look at some of the comments. Oh my, the pics. Thenjiwe, please give us Sbuh's lachnyana.
Uyangihlupha. Oh.
Awungeke indawo enjeneva shame.
It's that kitchen.
Ufisa akafundiseke phela. Ubhuti uhlobene yini no-Uncle Trevor Noah? Sbuh, pendula, uhlobene no-Trevor Noah?
Well, Trevor Noah is surname yakhe. Kumina it's a nickname, but if ufuna ukusho kanjalo angeke ngikuphikise. So yeah.
Thenjiwe is giving you a hard time.
Yes, that's true.
Phuma ubaleke.
Kuyaphekwa.
Kuleli khaya. That's proof. Exactly, it's proof ukuthi kuyaphekwa kuleli khaya. You need to go like phekwa khona. How old should she be? They want to know how old should she be?
I don't think I have a problem with age. Honestly, genuinely, I don't.
Young, old, as long as it's of a legal age, though.
As long as they're legal, it's fine.
Umzulu, Sbuh, yes, Sbuh, Umzulu. Amaphamsi.
Bengayibonile amaphamsi ngiyaxakeka yibo just nangubhuti egqoka amaphamsi ofethu. Hayi.
Bayakhala ukuthi ufuna iy'ngane ey'ningi. Zingaki iy'ngane ey'ningi?
Angithi I grew up in a big family. I mean, uma wami nobaba banengane eziyi-3, but besihlala besihlala eMlazi. So eMlazi besihlala kagogo nomkhulu. Ugogo nomkhulu from my dad's side bebenengane eziwu-11. And each of those kids zabo beyihlala endaweni eyodwa ekhaya. Yabona umuzi wakhaba umkhulu, so nabo bazala iy'ngane zabo which is us. So sasibaningi, so nje futhi ngiyawuthanda lo msindo nje wey'ngane nje. Yabo so uma ngiyekhaya nje ngiba happy kanjani. So I think I'd want that for my kids as well.
Yeah, ne?
Yeah.
So now you want 11 kids?
Well, no, not that extreme, because I still have to consider ukuthi kumele baye esikolweni. I still have to consider ukuthi kumele ngibanakekele, ngibanike isikhathi and all of that. But I don't know, not less than 5.
And you said uma wakho wakufundisa ukuthi kuyaklinwa endlini, umuntu wesilisa naye has to take part in making sure ukuthi indlu ihlanzekile, make sure you clean the house. It's not just a woman's job. Will you be willing to do things like washing?
Kwami no. As in ngibuya emsebenzini bese ngiyawazi.
No, just on a random day nje mhlambe she's not feeling well and she asks you, Sbuh, can you please help with the washing. Or if she's washing and she says, Sbuh, sengwashile ngicela uyongibhekela.
Listen, Thenji, umngami, she's my wife. I will do it gladly. I wouldn't even hesitate. Ngiyazi ukuthi amazulu amaningi azothi hawu ba yena ngeke mina umngami, so it's fine. I will do it. Kuthiwa yini lama-painting igama la? Kuthiwa yini igama lama-painting? Yini uMamdindi kanti?
Hayi okwangakini-ke lokho. Thina sasithi uMamhlongo. So guys, ngicela ama-applications. And Sbuh has promised ukuthi he'll do anything. This is the in thing. If you really love a woman.
I'm willing to wait kancane kuze kudlule le trend.
You willing? Let us check our comments. We have new comments. You uthi not less than 5. Yo, that bayakhala abantu.
Okay.
I'll do everything for you. Someone wants to know how old is Sbuh?
I'm 34.
34.
Yes.
We'll be coming back 10 years later when you are 36, because I celebrity the age.
No comment.
I once went to a celebrity's birthday party. She was turning 25 and her younger sister was turning 32.
Oh, younger sister, sis.
Yeah, celebrity age.
But I'm not one of those people. It's my real age. I was actually born on the 10th of March in 1986. So I did turn 34 on the 10th of March. So that's stress.
But it Plumas. I remember that name, it Plumas. Yeah, only so uthi itende. So what did I manje pendula? Haha, kodwa lo mamhlongo ongaka.
Khona umbuzo ngufu.
I know ukuthi mamhlongo. Bathi parachute. Ipendi lo muntu njalo lele nilibiza ngeparachute.
Kodwa kalineke endlini phela mfethu, hayibo kanti yini?
Bathi kahle Sbuh inhlamba ke noMamdidi umamhlongo.
Not, I think ucabanga uDIDI. No, uMamdindi sengiyakhumbula ukuthi yini. Yazini nawe mhlawumbe uzokhumbula. Uyakhumbula igege?
Yes, zokushikisha.
Kokusina lokhu kwamantombazane.
Lezokushikisha. Nangu Unhle Lwandle Mbokazi uthi yena ukhona angakunika 6 weingane. We will be coming to check your kitchens Wenhle.
Awumtshela. Ngicela ukuyichaza le ndaba yengane sisithenji.
How old are you, Thenjiwe? I'm old enough.
Celebrity age.
I'm of a legal age. I am of a legal age. I am older today than I was yesterday. You must attend my funeral. I'm sure they will have it on the program.
I'm sure uzoshiya usuku nenyanga.
Kodwa wazalwa ngonyaka othile, washiya ngonyaka othile.
Anikahle mafethu angazi nisaba nje ukushiya iminyaka yenu. Ayikho into ezoshintsha. Iminyaka yenu.
Ifaka kuphi isicelo somshado sisithe uma ufuna ukushada noSbuh Noah, senda igama lakho ne-ID number kule nombolo bese ilandelwa e-wallet ka-1,500.
Sisithenji sifuna nepicture yasekitchen nepicture kaMamdindi. Yonke into ekade uyiveza la. Siyafuna ukuyibona lezo zinto.
But do your research, my sister, with your host. Let us go to 100 subscribers this month. Thenjiwe, I'm enjoying this month. Lockdown Diaries. That's the problem we actually do have in South Africa. We get a lot of views on YouTube, but we're not getting subscribers.
Yeah, true.
People will view, but not subscribe. Because I know, Sbuh, you have a lot of views, but you don't have a lot of subscribers. So please, guys, do go to his channel and subscribe. I'm going to put a link here now. Press the link, subscribe. Because even myself, I've got over 27 million views. but only 88,000 subscribers. And when I look at my algorithm, it says 93% of the people who view videos on my channel have not subscribed. So we do need to subscribe. People think of a magazine subscription, think of a commitment, financial commitment when they see the word subscribe. It's the same thing as Facebook and Instagram. So please do subscribe to our YouTube channels.
Thank you, sis. This Thenjiwe,
Yes.
can I clarify on the kids issue?
Yes, please.
I'm also willing to have abantwana bayi-3 between the two of us, and then she adopted the other kids.
And if
I have a problem with if I sound harsh, but I have a problem with South African people. They don't believe in adoption. And there's a lot of kids that really need homes in orphanages. Abanye uthola ukuthi balahla abazali, abanye bashonelwa abazali bese bancane. And quite frankly, we don't go to orphanages to give. And I feel like it's our responsibility. I see responsibility of government. I see responsibility only orphanage to raise those kids. It's everybody's responsibility. There's a couple of orphanages. It's your responsibility, Mlazi, to make sure that those kids are cool. It's all on you guys. So I feel like can you imagine how many kids would find their home if each person commits to say, look, I'll have my family, but adopt at least one kid. And I think we've got lots of families, and if we all did that, we would at least find home for kids. But also, if we don't do that, let's at least extend a hand and help out. As much as you buy your groceries, of course, if you can afford, as much as you buy your groceries for your home, buy a few things as well and take them to the nearest orphanage. I think it's the right thing to do, and I pray that most people would subscribe to that.
I agree with that. I'm very big on supporting, especially supporting orphanages and old age homes. It's very, very important, because not only are you saving a child's future, you're also saving your future, you're also saving your community. Because at 18, the orphanages cannot do anything with those children. Now, how many 18-year-olds do you know that can go and start a life without any money, without any parent? Because at 18, the orphanage has to ask them to leave, because they are now of age. They are of a majority age. They're no longer a young boy or young girl. So we need to make sure that we take care of such things. If everyone who lived in Mlazi gave R1 a month to an orphanage, it will make a huge difference. Sometimes we think you have to have a lot of money to contribute, but sometimes it's just that every little helps.
100%.
Which is why, I mean, and especially coming to you, because you are very strongly Christian, you are religious.
Yeah.
Ogweshum, I don't give it to the church.
Yeah.
But I give Ogweshum. I've got charities that I support. I've got individuals that I support. So just because you are not giving to the church doesn't mean to not give. Find a way, find someone you can give. And believe you me, the universe will thank you for it. It's like when you do something bad to someone, karma will not forget your address. It will come and find you. Same thing when you do something good, you will attract good.
Exactly. Nice one, Sister Thenjiwe.
The number for my e-wallet, mina ngizonisela imali kuma-orphanage.
Hayi wena ndaba e-wallet serious kanti vele.
Cela ningithembele imali mina ngizonisela kuma-orphanage, because mina I have a permit. Thank you so much. She's subscribing to your channel after this. Thank you so much. Imagine if everyone, all those 5 million people who watched that one video, subscribe. Thanks for the link. I already love him. Mom is won by little girls when doing traditional dance.
Thank you.
Abamangami.
Sister Thenjiwe. I need to tell when I'm making up a word. Abamangami.
I didn't say that.
Tell you.
Uthi ngiyakuthanda Sbuh, sengibethwa yiyo le ndaba ye-age. Uthe uSbuh he doesn't mind the age. He doesn't mind. I've worked in an orphanage before, and yes, it's our responsibility to adopt kids. Thank you so much, Phumzile Zama. It is, and we need to make awareness about these things. Abanye abantu baqala ngokuthi sokwenze njani mase sishisa impepho. Umthume tuckshop abuye senishisile. Menifake iy'phandla umthuma kamakhelwane abuye seniy'fakile bese uthi you took too long. Now iy'phandla have run out. There are ways of doing these things. Or umfake lesi China seeds. Do you know China seeds dayisa iy'phandla? I don't want wife, but I do want to adopt. Is it possible? Yes, Nkanyiso Zwane, it's very possible. I've got a lot of single male friends who have adopted. Even for gays or lesbians, you can adopt.
Yeah.
Those words are so sweet. Mtanami Sbuh, may God continue to bless you. Siyabonga Nkelo.
Thank you.
Sbuh, which facial feature do you love the most?
I'm assuming ubuza kumuntu wesifazane.
I think so.
Ngoba ngeke abuze ukuthi ngithanda la ebusweni bami. Wow, I think the eyes. The Bible says they are the window to the soul. So definitely the eyes.
So yeah. Umungana mehlo khohlwa. I miss your event, I miss your performance, Kuma event.
Oh man, I miss them too, eh? But we'll come back. We'll come back.
Laughing at the tuck shop part. Getsemane maniphile nje wesisithenjiwe.
Thank you, PK.
Now, thank you so much, Siyabonga. Wise words is indeed lend a hand. Yes, we all need to lend a helping hand. Everything is up to us. Otherwise, we're always going to be the charity case. We'll figure people from other countries and going to our orphanages, taking photos with our children, which is very, very unfair, because when people come to Africa, they say, when you ask them, oh, so where were you this summer? I went to South Africa. Where did you go? What did you see? I went to this place called Soweto. I went to an orphanage, and I went to an AIDS hospital. And you're like, the whole South Africa. And they will never count the 5-star hotel. They will never count the safaris and everything else they saw. They'll tell you about the hospital. But when we go to Paris, we don't say, I went to this hospital with people who suffer from gonorrhea. No. We'll tell them about the Eiffel Tower. And so we need to make sure we are the ones, the generation that changes that mentality. And that's when we go to their places, find the photos. Have you been to Paris? Oh, yes, beautiful. Oh, how was it? What did you see? Oh, I went to a hospital with people who suffer from gonorrhea. And
I've never heard that, yes.
So you went to New York. Yes, I went to this hospital full of people with HIV and cancer.
That's
a good spool, but at least you made my evening. Thank you so much, new name loading.
Oh,
I think that name will load to be Mrs. Snow. Who know? What if she's a pirate and menu fan?
The person who's asking that question knows me very well. Very well. Sister, I got this. I convert to Chiefs. I cannot. I'm so I'm gonna try to laugh at you. No, because I'm supposed to pirates. How ma? Kingafani ngoba lethu ngihleli nomuntu supposed to pirates la endlini. Angeke. Please.
You can still catch the show. You can rewatch everything that we are doing now. It's gonna be it's being recorded, and you can also please follow Sbuh Noah on his YouTube channel. Go there and subscribe. Here is the link. Please press subscribe and watch the videos. And when you watch the videos, please make sure you do not skip the adverts, because that's how your entertainers and creators manage to get a few bucks so that they can continue creating for you.
Jesus.
Wena sisithenjiwe undihlekisa noba awukathethi kwanto. Sathule nje ndivele ndizive. Ndihleka gqithi.
Can I say something, Nambans?
Eh,
Yes. No, one of your Facebook people, labo bafunda lapho. Yo, I cannot stop laughing at your video about umama ofelwe during Corona. Yo. Yabona khona mase khwehlela the person who's taking the video. Umbuzo uthi unawo masingcwabisa.
but no, it's something that needs to be addressed. Guys, please let me know if I'm wrong. In South Africa, right now, if you have a funeral, if you lose a loved one, you can only have 50 people attend a funeral. And in 50 people that will attend a funeral, they all need to have a permit. Imagine all your family members, they need the death certificates so they can attend. Have you ever gone to see someone at the hospital and find 50 people? People don't go see people when they are alive. And then when they are dead, now it must be my problem how they get there.
But they have to pay their last respect. This is terrible.
And send a WhatsApp message and tell them to RIP. I'll bury them with a phone. When they are in hospital, you send them a message to tell them to get better. When they are dead, I must feed you. No.
Family members.
I do not care. You'll see them in heaven. If you are family members, you'll meet again. Why must I feed you? Why must I feed you?
Yo, I know.
Wazelaphi amaphedi since you said awukazugane. Pendula. Wazelaphi phedi. How did you know what he paid? Because you've never had a wife. That's the question.
I'll tell you why. On my very first year at doing my undergrad Bachelor of Health Sciences, we did dissections. So would be allocated bodies of people, and they will for you to dissect the whole year. So they would dress them in these little things and smolanyana panties before the dissections. So that's where I know the panties from.
How was it? What is it like to dissect a body?
At first, because what happens is we've got what we call orientation week, where we do introduction to basically all the parts of what we're going to be doing for the year. So we also go to the lab, and then on that first week, then you get like bodies. We take into this room, which has like thousands and thousands of bodies, and then each person is assigned the body. So the first week is for you to basically, because a lot of people, faint and all of that, they go through quite a lot. So we don't actually start the work at least for a week. So you're allowed to actually go in there and have a look at the body so that you familiarize yourself with it. But it literally it's a dead person. So I feel like once the soul leaves the body, it literally just becomes interfere. You can see that it's still a person.
Where do they get the bodies from?
Majority of the bodies, I must say, majority of white people donate. So they'll do a funeral service, and then the body will just be taken to the nearest university or wherever they donated. And then we actually do have bodies that hadn't been identified for a number of years. So remember that, like, for example, if there's a family member who's been lost for many years, it's either they bury that body or it's taken to the university for those things. So that's where the bodies come from. But mostly white people donate. We do have some black people who do that, but most of them, they don't do
and
that.
Also, I've heard that if they have peculiar deaths where they need to have medical information on the disease, the things where I'm sure they're doing the same with a few of the first corona bodies, COVID-19 bodies, because they have to find out what's happening. Then what would you do if you walked in and it's an exam and you have to dissect a body and you find Thenjiwe lying there?
Um, well, I mean, if it's Thenjiwe, I'll probably laugh.
On a serious note, if it's someone you know.
No, it happened. That's couple of years ago. It happened. The white lady, Watoluma Wake. But Umawake had passed on, I think, for a year or so. And then during dissection, she actually identified. So her mother donated the body for dissection, and then the
We
body
were
was
doing
taken.
so well. I do not know why we are suddenly experiencing such brutality.
What's going
We
on?
are waiting for Sbuh to reconnect.
I'm still here.
In the meantime, please go and subscribe to his YouTube channel. And if you have not subscribed to mine, please do subscribe as well. Can you imagine? He's fainting before he even sees my body.
I don't know what to do. Can you see me?
I just asked him a question.
Can you see me, Thenjiwe?
Hi, I'm back. I am sorry about that. I do not know what happened. Yes, Sbuh is coming back as well. We are back. I do apologize.
I don't know what happened.
I do not know what happened. But Wi-Fi companies have been saying that they're experiencing too much use. Everyone is on at the same time.
It makes sense, ne?
These are unprecedented times. Oh, they see us again. Thank you so much, guys, and thank you for your patience. Yes, we were still explaining.
No, I was saying there was a lady, Shem Tolumawake, in one of the cadavers. She actually fainted, but they didn't know that it was her mom. And then she woke up and she told them that it was her mom. She was studying medicine though, so yeah. No, it happened before.
Did she know her mom was dead, or did she not?
Yeah. No, she knew her mom was dead, like I said, and then the mom was buried. Not buried, man. Obviously they had a funeral service, and then because the mom had donated the body, so it went wherever it goes, and then eventually it was delegated to the institution. So when she was starting her first year, then she actually found her mom there, but she knew that Mama Berashonil. Yeah, it was strange.
Yeah.
And I love ukuthi bathi wena abasho ukuthi yini bathi uwe.
So that is hard. What would you guys do? That is so hard.
Scary.
It makes me scared. It makes me wonder if everybody is donated, or sometimes you steal the bodies. That's why people will pour a bucket of cement over the caskets. These are the stories.
Yeah. No, but like, hey, maningi Shem, has a lot of, because literally every year, each university, especially the ones that offer medicine studies, they've got like thousands of bodies they
Wow.
use, because literally each student gets a body, because you're going to be dissecting this body the whole year, because you're going to be doing different systems, reproductive system, cardiovascular system, respiratory system. So by the time the year ends, this person, you can't even recognize them because you've opened them up everywhere to learn about this and all of that. Yeah.
Then what do you do with them afterwards?
Or they buy shiswa.
Please do not shisa me when I'm dead. I am scared because nobody has ever come back and told us akubuhlungu. Nobody has ever come back and said it was not painful. Do not shisa me.
But angithenjwa sowufile ngeke ungabuza ubuhlungu udissect ucathi uzobuza amasoshiso.
Well, you don't know. They do not have a voice. Maybe they can feel the pain. They just cannot communicate it.
How do they feel the pain when they're...
I don't know. I don't want to know.
The brain is dead. The nerves don't work. There's nothing.
Still, I'm scared, please. It's scary. It's scary. Thank you, guys.
I was going to say, but
would
then
you guys be willing, please answer me, would you be willing to donate your body to a university to be used as medical studies? Maybe if they donate, maybe to India, where nobody who knows me will ever see it. Hey, but in India, you never know what they can do there. So, no. I'll pass. Would you guys donate your bodies when you are dead? Would you give your bodies to universities to use them to study?
The problem is the family.
I'll put Pigambi after dissecting the bodies.
I think the difficult part is obviously the first few weeks, but eventually you get used to it. But they do also offer counseling for students who might have a difficult time, especially at the beginning of the year. So a lot of them do have like serious issues, but eventually, they really get over it. But like I said, man, like once a body is dead, like the soul leaves the body, it literally just becomes a cadaver. That's what they call it. It's dead. So you don't even think that this is a person. You just see it as an instrument that you can use for whatever work that you need to do. So, yeah.
Network.
Yeah, but because my side is clear, your side ngathi standard, it's still a standard definition.
Was it fuzzy even in the beginning, or has it just started being fuzzy? What is phumile? Okay, ngicela unginike nje ungaphumi, nginike 1 second. Let me see if I'm still connected to the right one.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Do not go away. Do not leave me. Do not.
Bese yacula. Sanele uthi I think into yabantu abamhlophe thina abantu abamnyama we respect umzimba wabantu abangasekho. Yeah, I hear you.
And I can see myself, you are back. Usanele Msweli uthi I think into yabantu abamhlophe thina abantu abamnyama we respect umzimba nabantu abangasekho. Uyacabanga usungenwa idlozi kanti lise-university each time belidissect Sbuh ulokhu uzizwa ugula nje uzwa kubuhlungu iqaka lanti uSbuh usebenza ngeqaka lale dlozi elingenile. Uyacabanga uthi sisithenjiwe sikubona kwi-CCTV.
Bekubona kanjalo bangathi kwi-CCTV
Better now.
Now you are back on HD njengathi.
Thank you.
CCTV
wesamukele. Angisho kunzima ukuthi bodakhe asikhulanga sibona idumbu phela thina. Ayi cha nami ngiyasaba bandla, do not donate my body.
Yeah, that's true. Like people usually have very
But I'm using 8. Asikuboni kahle kanti avuma.
Batshela ukuthi awukho eLondon.
You know what's happening here? Angithi yabona lento ekhulunywa yama 5G towers.
Yeah.
So people have been destroying the towers. So the internet has become very, very bad.
Siyabonga kodwa bafethu asifuni into 5G ngeke. Ha, sizofa phela.
Hey, soboshwa. Ngathi ngisenkingeni nje namhlanje ukuthi I said happy Mother's Day to all the South African mothers except to Makabheki Icele.
Hayi, ngicela angitholakalanga ukuphawula.
No, I won't do that. Ngifuna ukuba idlozi elihle mina uma sengishonile. Uma ngishisiwe phela ngizoba idlozi elivuthumile. Exactly.
Kanti yazi uzoba idlozi
Waziwa nolaka lo kanti ungenwe idlozi elashiso uvutha umlilo la uqhamuka khona.
uza mina sisithenji. Kanti umuntu uba idlozi ngomzimba yini?
I have no idea. I don't know. I'll answer you when I get there. 2 weeks after you bury me, I'll give you a phone call and tell you. I do not know. I have not died yet. Sbuh, I'm one of those people who believes in everything. I'll go to church, and then after church, I'll go to Isangoma. I'll go to, because I don't know what works. So, and then you'll see me going to a Muslim place of worship. I don't know what works. So, bona khona.
At least khona okukodwa kodwa okusebenzayo.
Khona ke. Azobe strong lawo madlozi. There must be a funeral since other generation must see my tombstone.
Okay, one thing I didn't mention is that after they usually the families always ask that once the body has been used, they want the, what do you call it? The ashes.
The ashes.
Yeah. So they put the ashes back and then they send them back to the family.
Hey, let me tell you a story. I'm gonna close soon because me and Sbuh, we're never gonna stop talking. So you know things happen, like London, people live far away and it's so expensive to send a body back home. A person is cheaper when they are alive than when they are dead when it comes to traveling.
Yes.
So this lady came here with Mengiti here. I'm in London, not East London, London Yang.
Yes.
This lady came here with her husband. And when he came here, he just didn't respect her. What only in Dome, we found girlfriend who was excited about white girls wanting him. And then he died. So now she has to send the body home because she's still the wife. And his family back home is like, you took him from here. We want him back. We bring our body back. We want to bury the body. She eventually does that. She gets home. When she gets home, we asked him about Linda. Kulindi, kuhleliwe kumantrasa ogogo bakhona. Ayike angeneke kukhalwe kodwa Nkosi yami awukufa ulinuku hawu makoti uphi umzimba wathi nawu la it was expensive to send a body. She cremated the body in London. What about plastic?
Because then it's cheaper. She doesn't have to pay now to actually bring this.
Plastic waste and it's very you have to check in the body separately, even if it's its ashes.
Yes.
I also browse this. That's what's now. Okay,
kodwa mina ngiyam-understand usisi Shem, like nabo bekumele bam-understand.
When you would understand if it was your family member.
Do you know how much you have to pay to bring
it is too expensive.
Very expensive. So obviously yabona unkosikazi ocabangayo leyo ukuthi at least ama-remains walo muntu azobe esekhaya.
Sbuh, you have a question. We have a question from Ulebogang. Sbuh, what's your biggest fear?
Yeah, I get this question a lot, and my answer is simple. My biggest fear, ukufa, ngingakwenzanga ngimele ngikwenze emhlabeni, whatever that means. But dying without fulfilling my purpose, I think that for me is the biggest fear.
I didn't get the topic, just got in. It's just Quarantine Diaries, Sbuh, so we're just having a chat. We're talking about dissecting bodies because Sbuh is a doctor who deals with and he thinks that is normal. And he's encouraging all of us to donate our bodies when we die.
But then Listen to this, Thenjiwe. If you donate your body, then you're giving a child a chance to learn about the human anatomy and the physiology of the person, right?
I
And we need
understand.
you want to make doctors, so you can't be making doctors. They still have to see these things. They still have to open the body. So if when you say no and the next person say no, we're not going to have bodies for doctors to learn and be good at their job.
No, Sbuh, I mean, I understand, and I encourage all of you guys, please donate your bodies.
Nah, wait.
Just one time. Please donate your bodies.
How do you say to people, "Amanya wenzitetile tangi lapho"?
But people don't want us to stop, Sbuh.
I
But
know.
ningavali manje usuphelelwa amadata insistentile nje ukuthengele nge-e-wallet. Uthi plastic wesiqeda, awukhipha ngoplastic wesiqeda ngempela. Uthi usicela ukhipha umuntu wakhe kubra. That's love. That's some true love ngempela. That's some true love. So what's the weirdest thing you have seen on a body? I know we have different bodies. I've seen someone who had ipipila. I've seen someone who had 2 cakes, amakeke amabili. So what's the weirdest that you've seen?
It was probably won't be as funny as what you've seen, but we've actually found a body of, we're doing the cardiovascular system. Cardiovascular system is basically your heart and the vessels and of course the blood and blah, blah, blah. So when we do dissection of that system, we open the chest, look at the heart, look at the veins and the different types literally throughout the body. So we found a heart in this young man that had, the heart has 4 chambers, right? You've got the atriums, the 2 atriums at the top, the lower ventricles at the bottom. That's the general anatomy of the heart. So that person actually had 3 chambers instead of 2. So we had no idea. Instead of 4, they had 3 chambers. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it didn't make sense how they were alive, because just to give you a very basic idea. So there's 4 chambers. So blood comes in on the top chamber, which is the atrium. It goes into the ventricle, and then the ventricle pumps it out, and it goes into the different parts of the body, comes back on the other atrium, goes to the ventricle, pumps it into the lungs to go get oxygen. So it goes like that, So if a person has 3 of the 4 chambers, then the question is, which chamber, like for example, so there was only 1 atrium and 2 ventricles.
So there's a chamber that's overworked.
Well, besides being overworked, it doesn't make sense because each chamber leads to a ventricle to take the blood to a specific part of the system, because there's 2 of them. The one takes the blood to the rest of the body and give to feed the body and give the body oxygen. The other one takes blood that has that has carbon dioxide, takes it to the respiratory system so you can get your oxygen back, so you can take it back to the rest of the body. So if there's only 3 chambers and one of those chambers is an atrium, it means that you have a mixture. So it means blood that has oxygen and blood that has carbon dioxide is mixing. So technically that person should not leave.
And they leave.
He was old. I mean, he was a young man in terms of the age, but I think he was in his early 20s. So we don't know how he survived this long.
The 20 years.
Yeah, because then it doesn't make sense. It made no sense. And unfortunately, even the death, because they tell us what the cause of death of this person. It had nothing to do with the heart.
Yo.
So he could have still lived quite a long time. So, but that was weird. That was the strangest thing I've ever seen. We always open it up, 4 chambers, you're able to identify them. So 3 made no sense.
Wow. I once had a problem when I was young where they thought my heart was on the wrong side.
Yeah.
And the surgery, everything was booked. And then when I went, they scanned and it was on the right side. That way it needs to be. And it's a true story. So I don't know if God decided. And I have that thing, my God works overtime.
Come on now.
He operated while I was sleeping.
Hey,
No, would you donate your body?
To me? Yes, I would. I would. But I think someone actually said, Uguti, usually it might not be you who has a problem. It might be the family. So I don't know how my family would take that, because you know how they are. But I personally wouldn't mind.
Once you're gone, your body doesn't belong to you. Your family has to make the decision.
Ish.
Sorry. Uzamo uthi usuphasile Sbuh, straight the way you explain the heart, ngiyavuma. Ungasaqhubeki ukufunda.
Yeah, no, phela, and I'm sure umuntu owaziyo nje loyo. So uyabona ukuthi lento engiyichazayo iyayenza.
Bangakaboni uyamazi umuntu mekhuluma into ongayazi bese ufuna into ongayazi. Ubone the way i-conviction yakhe imenza athi uyayazi akhuluma ngayo uSbuh.
No, I'm choosing to believe they know they know what I'm talking about.
Akwazi ubona abantu uthi hayibo lo mama uyasishayisa ngisumbona ekhuluma nomlungu uthi uyasondela kanti ushayisa fana lo.
Yambona ke lo khuluma manje. Nangu umuntu owenze i-anatomy. Ama-reptiles are the ones who have that anatomy, not human beings. Humans would never survive. That's theoretically
how what you thought until you saw that body.
But that's the thing. There's no explanation for it. Like, it makes no sense. That's the thing. Because here's the thing. If we accept that it's a possibility, then we need to be able to explain
why and how.
Ultimately, oxygen and the blood that has oxygen and the blood that has carbon dioxide, they should never mix. You die if that happens. Because it means either your ventricles are leaking to each other or your atriums are leaking to each other. You see? So you are taking blood that has carbon dioxide to the rest of the body that is supposed to get oxygen, and it's not getting oxygen. It's getting carbon dioxide, which it already has. You see? So you
that's die. That's too much knowledge for one night. I'm starting to feel my heart, and I'm now thinking I have 3 or 2. No, please. Wow, very interesting. So what happened to the heart? Did they take it for further investigation?
I don't know, because we're doing first year. But I hope they did. It makes sense if they did, because Tina, literally Tina into etipelela elab. We do the research, we get out. We don't know what then happens with the rest of the bodies, but it makes sense if they did, because
it was probably preserved. Because it's made history. That's different, but hearts have the deformity name. Nazo ifundiswe ifana now.
There's a 3-chamber.
The heart have the deformity name.
They I don't know. That's the thing. I've never done, like, followed up like what that is, and if there's different. I think because in human beings, you hardly have that. But I mean, if they did research about it and they found that there's more than one person who has, they would have probably named it and be able to explain it. But I've never heard about it.
Uzama uthi ubone ipassion hayi ukuthi uyayazi lento obukhuluma ngayo.
Hayi wavela ngiphoqa xa ukuvele wathula vele wangiyeka nje ngakholwa ukuthi
Now Usbusiso uthi wow, nice topic. I will think about it. Challenge is to convince the family. My family is too traditional. I read a story in Cape Town, Tygerberg hospital, that they transplanted a penis. I just want to know if that person's penis is working well. What I've heard about penises is that it becomes an everready. What do you know medically?
When I was doing the health science,
because I know I have a girl that I know that implanted a penis. That they
really?
Exchange, yes.
Wow. And so much ukhala ukuthi nje imile nje.
Everready mkhonto kashaka.
That must be very uncomfortable, though. I mean,
I know.
I told you.
So, a medical answer.
Yokuthi, why is it always up?
Is it always up or not? Because they might not believe me.
Well, no, I don't know. I don't know why it should always be up though. That's the part I don't get, because the reason that the penis is up at the time has to do with the flow of the blood that is concentrated towards your organ, right? So if you're not excited, it makes no sense why it should stay up. But then again, it's a transplant. It's something that's new that people are still discovering and seeing how it works. So maybe
But transplanted things do not work like originals, because I've seen also breast and butt moving. Have you seen a butt that has moved? My friend once picked up her daughter. It literally moved because you're not supposed to carry heavy stuff. So it makes sense.
No, I know
That story phakathi indaba kodwa wasn't because of shunts. Nazo pendula, what's a shunt?
Was it not? No. It wasn't. It wasn't because it literally it was the chambers. It was the anatomy.
Please tell us what are shunts.
Shunts have to do with so every heart has a kunama valves that lead to so each chamber blood comes in and then goes into the atrium, and then the atrium leads to the ventricle. So the what do you call it? The valve. There's a valve that opens so that blood can move into the ventricle, and then same thing happens when the blood actually comes back. So if there's something wrong with that movement of the blood, but that's the physiology of the heart. It's not the anatomy. And the problem was not the physiology. It wasn't even the issue. Wasn't even the actual heart. Umuntu akabulawanga inhliziyo, wabulawa by something else. But mabebala ama chambers, bathola ama chamber I3 instead of 4. So I don't know. We don't
I cannot wait to Sbuh. I cannot wait for lockdown to be over. I'm gonna cram everything that you've said. I can't wait to be sitting somewhere with people and explaining it like I know what I'm talking about. Oh, you do not know me. I'm gonna be explaining like I know exactly what I'm talking about. And I will stop them before they even talk about the chance. I'll be like, no, it's not, because it was not that. Wait, hey, I didn't get me. I will do it. Sbuh, do you believe in traditional medicine? Have you tried imbis?
Okay, have I tried imbiza? Not ebudaleni bami, but my family believes in traditional medicine, so so I could have drank it. But do I believe in traditional medicine? I do believe in traditional medicine because I'm not a doctor, I'm a medical scientist, and what we do is exactly what you're asking. In fact, my research for the project that I was doing, I'm graduating with my honors in physiology next week. The project was actually testing a plant that was found in one of the countries here in Africa to basically see if it assists in a diabetic person to decrease blood sugar level in their body. So traditional healers use it, but it hasn't been tested officially to see if it helps. So what we're doing is that we're testing to see if it does, and we found that it actually does. However, most of the time when plants are used and they are tested, you find that they will fix one thing and then they'll mess up one thing. You get me? So they will decrease the blood sugar level, but you find that they're affecting your heart in a negative way. So that's one thing that we found with that plant. But it limits inhliziyo. So like crash somehow within the body, because we found that the cells get messed up and things like that. But we're still continuing with the thing. So yes, I believe in traditional medicine. However, I still think that research is also important so that we don't try to see laphe bese siyayibulala futhi. Yabona?
As medical scientists, why don't you work hand in hand with amaphoyisa, especially when it comes to cases rape? and give ama-rapist the same medicine that you give people with diabetes because ababe besavukele. So that ama-rapist angavukele.
Ngicela ungangifaki bandla, ngiyacela. Uthenji kanti. Thenji ngicela ungangifaki. Ngicela ungangifaki entweni zama-rapist namaphoyisa. Ngiyacela. Hawu. Ufuna la sekuthiwa ngathi. Thenji ngiyakubona ngisakuzwa manje.
Oh, sorry about that. I guess her flow must be working overtime. Shoo, the partner must be in trouble. No headache whatsoever.
But it's not. It's any awareness is it's not. It's not healthy as well.
Sbuh, I feel sorry for you if you had a friend that was doing your assignments. Questions are coming. What is the name of the chamber that was missing?
It was difficult to. It was difficult to get when I see, and I'll tell you why. If the person was still alive, we would be able to get, because the only thing that can determine, first of all, the atrium was just this was a big, it was just big and round and at the top, and the one. Ne? That's the first thing. So there was no separating things because the atriums are separated by a septum. So being is separated. So it was just one big atrium like this. But I'm saying, Guti, if we pillar, then we would see Guti, the blood that is going into that atrium is coming either from your lungs or it's coming from the rest of your body. You see. But some so we couldn't be able to determine where the blood was coming from. So it was difficult to say, yeah.
Nangu ubizo wakho Sbuh Patrick. Wow, congratulations and enjoy your #stay-at-home graduation, Sbuh. I'm finishing my master's in Europe and hope to get home soon. I hope you are fine in Europe and you are not missing home too much, but at least in Europe you are still able to buy alcohol, so stay there. You know, even if you don't drink, just the thought that you can buy it. Just knowing you can buy it.
Mara, why nini again utin puza?
Because
why
because that's that was time.
Hayi kwanzima bafethu. Hayi no.
I say akhuluma futhi mina nawe, let's just go back to the questions and see. Oh, that was when I was mute. I am back now. Ngicela uqhube sisithenje ngezimbiza. I'm coming back to this question.
Okay. You've muted me again. You've muted me again.
Please send me the new link.
Oh, okay. Actually,
and if you have your links, Sbuh, can you please post it in the comments or send it to me? Because apparently I posted the old link. I posted your Vivo link with your music. So please, new name loading. Please do.
No, the Vivo link is the Vivo link is the one.
I hope I'm clear. I think I posted the wrong one because ngiyamazi new name loading akalala endleleni.
But
I think you have two, which means I posted the wrong one. We will get that. We will get the right one.
The right one is the Vivo one, Nessus.
Okay. Sbuh, what's your favorite Bible verse and why?
What is my favorite Bible verse? Jeremiah 29:11. I know it sounds cliche, but I think as a child of God, like I said, you asked me what my biggest fear is, and I said to you, is to die without fulfilling my purpose. And Jeremiah 29:11 says that I know the plans I have for you, and those plans are to prosper you and not to harm you. And I think the reason it's my favorite verse is because it's just good to know, man, Sister Thenjiwe, because we try to do a lot of things on our own. We use our own. We try to think about how do we fix this? How do we get ourselves to certain places? It's just good to know that there is a greater power that is working in us to direct us. It just makes us feel as if we are not alone, and that God knows, even in the midst of everything that we go through. But we know that ultimately it is His plan that will prevail. So that's my scripture, and that's why it's my favorite.
Do you want to know my favorite verse?
Ngicela ukulizwa Nkosi. Oh jeez, ngabe likhona indona kuBhayibheli. Okay.
Yeah. AmaBhayibheli bawakhiphe abase Roma 16.
Kubani?
Romans 16.
Romans 16.
Do you have a Bible leZulu? I want someone with a Zulu Bible.
Ima ngilithatha.
Please ngilithatha.
Yabo likhaviwe nokukhava. Uma mfethu ngamshaya neBhayibheli lami la endlini evakashile ngabuye selikhavile. Ngicela ubuke Thenji ngekhava brown mfethu buka.
Umama ke lo, umama unjalo.
Inweni mfethu ngizothi ama order ngempela ngekhava brown uzofana neplastic cover.
That's a mother. Ngicela uveze abase Roma 16.
Okay, sesifikile siya kusahluko 16 ivesi
verse 1.
Okay, ngingafunda
Please.
kwabaseRoma sengithi kwabaseRoma 16 siqala kuverse 1 isihloko sithi uPaul ukhonza kubazalwane. Sister Thenjiwe, where are you?
I'm here. Found the Bible. I'm not coming back until you read the verse.
Okay, you're right.
Funda.
Okay, guys. Sifunda kwabaseRoma isahluko 16 siqala verse 1. Isahluko uPaul ukhonza kubazalwane.
Okay, Sbuh. If that one is too much for you, ngicela sivule izaga.
Ay, ngiyabonga.
Okay, ngicela sivule izaga 7.
Izaga sahluko 7.
Yes.
Okay.
Bese siya verse 18.
Ngizokutshela manje. Hayi Thenjiwe uyabona okungenze khona namuhla. Ngiyokuxoxela amagwaba bechobana. Uthe sithini isahluko?
Uyabona ukuthi awulazi neBhayibheli.
Hayibo.
Izaga 7 verse 18.
Ngeke Thenji. Ngicela ukufunda wami manje.
Cha, ngicela ufunde iBhayibheli Sbuh Nkosi yami. Elakho akulona elama ngiyibhalelanga.
Ngeke hey. Angivunyelanga ukuthi unhlamba.
Okay, inhlamba into eseBhayibhelini. Okay ke. I'll give you the third one. Then you will choose one out of the 3 that you can read. What do you guys say? I say with Deuteronomy 23 verse 1.
And I'm sure nalelo futhi linenhlamba. And I understand. Deuteronomy chapter
23 verse 1.
Verse 1. Okay, ngathi akunenhlamba la. Cela ukufunda uDeuteronomy 23 verse 1.
Okay.
Phansi kwesihloko esithi abangavunyelwe ukungena ebandleni likaJehova.
Funda.
Sithenji, so awusho ubuya nini eLondon?
Funda Sbuh. Everyone is saying funda Sbuh.
Lento izoposta bethu Instagram ku-YouTube wakho futhi abantu bazothini?
Okay ke asiyeke umuntu akayifundele ekhaya.
Mfunde ke. Hayi, ngifunda verse 1 kuphela.
Up to you. Funda wona kuphela.
Okay. Olimele noma
Ayasixolela umuntu uzoyifundela ekhaya. Umuntu uzoyifundela ekhaya.
angeke
Uyabona ukuthi ngiyalazi iBhayibheli kunawe.
but yini wazi lama verse anamagama athe ukuqina?
Ingoba ngilazi lonke iBhayibheli.
Hayi, cha sengithule mina sisithenji. Sengithule.
Ngilazi lonke.
Ngicela abantu
Ucela abantu bayifundele lamavesi bakithi. Umkhulu wami yazi wayenjani wena Sbuh?
Yes.
Ugogo wami wayesindisiwe. Umkhulu wami wayethusa uJesu njengostar wakhe. So he always looked for something wrong. eBhayibhelini. Ngithe esontweni ebusuku athi hamba noJesu wakhe iy'ngane zamazi lapho. Sekuna wahamba eZimbabwe wabuya ne-CD ya-Oliver Mthukuthu kwakusama-cassettes. Ngazi noma i-cassette noma i-LP.
Yeah.
Wayeyidlala from morning eyayithi uJesu namasende. Eyayithi uJesu namasimba.
No, that means power in
Yes.
Zimbabwe.
Adinwe nugogo. Ishingoma ithi uJesu namasimba. In Shona it means Jesus has power. Amasimba is power.
But I must say, remember the friend of mine I told you about was in Zimbabwe.
Umkhululi, yes.
Yes, they do sing Shona in they use the language there as well. So there's a song I introduced her. Hey, what my she I need to call my lyrics before she call it. What my taspale. Hey, what a chef figure lapho to Jesu namatimba. Ha. Kwaphela insista bese ahleka sonke lethe.
No, it's not my fault. Bayakhala abazalwane ubancishile izwi. Asazi usabani ngoba iBhayibheli. Mina guys ngiwakhiphile amazwi ngathi alifunda iBhayibheli. Sbuh decided not to.
It's too graphics this one. I don't even say those words ngingedwa. Ngizowasho kanjani emphakathini?
What's the graphic? I think we have to Valelisa manje. We've been here for a long time. I've enjoyed each and every minute, but I know ukuthi uma ngabe singaqedi ngeke size siqede. Ungasekutheni.
But only
Sbuh
will come back again system.
I did a live with David Cow.
Okay.
We did 5 hours.
Are you serious?
We did 5 hours. So nje, I know ukuthi me and my people will be here until morning. So
5 hours.
5
But
hours.
Yabona lo 2 hours uvele waphela nje ngathi asikazi isikhuluma.
Kwaphele ngathi awukazi lokhuza. Ngizocela nje ukudlulisa isimemezelo sokuthi guys, please be careful. We know we are stage 4. This thing is real. Be careful where you go. Be careful where you purchase PPE.
PPE, yes.
Yes. Be careful where you buy amaskako because things are happening all over. People are taking chances. There are people who are going to hospitals, collecting masks that were used by hospital staff and patients, washing them and reselling them. So do not just buy any loose mask. Do not just buy. And also, mask siyawawasha every day. Lawa endwangu. Yes. And also we have to be super careful. I know I've heard stories in taxis, drivers are trying to be nice. Mukibela, they give you a mask, but when you get off, you give it back to them and they give it to the next passenger. So now you know that mask you're getting from a taxi is a mask that someone else was wearing. In my malls, people are renting out a mask for 5 rand because you cannot go into the shops without a mask. So people will give you a mask. You can wear literally a mask can be anything. You can do anything. You can do this if you want. It's still a mask. It's still a mask now. Now any mask, guys, just put on a mask.
Guys, ngiyazi ukuthi Thenjiwe niyamthanda futhi niyamlalela, but just this once, please don't listen. Yabona ama picture aqeda kwaveza u2 ningawafaki. A mask is something that is supposed to cover your nose
Like
and also
this.
your mouth. Thenjiwe, uqhubeke ne-live yakho.
Oh, like this. Naye Sbuh. Guys, we must improvise. Otherwise, we're gonna remain on lockdown. We need to be careful. We need to take care.
I give up, Shem. So I'm sorry.
Yeah. What last words? What advice do you have for Aband?
Yeah, guys, Thenjiwe, I wish we had more time to speak about this because I think it's a very difficult issue for our people. Because I think I was once ignorant about the whole situation. It's easy for you and me, Thenjiwe, to say stay in the house and don't go out and stuff like that. But umuntu mfethu oselokishini ongasebenzi oshiriza nje emgaqweni, it's difficult for them, you know. So, but I'm glad that the government is taking an initiative and helping the community. But yeah, I think the only advice I would have is that we just need them safe. We need them. Yeah, but if there's one thing that this period has taught us, you and me, Thenjiwe, is that we need our people because the stuff that we do is they make it possible. Without them as an audience, we can't stand and sing and do comedy. So we just need them alive. So they must do whatever it takes to make sure that they stay alive. If you can, please stay at home. If you can't and you need to go out, make sure you take all the necessary steps to make sure that you don't contract the virus. I truly, truly believe, and I can see even in my head, a time where this is all over. But it would be awesome if we are all still together. So those would be my final words to the people.
I do agree with you, and I also wish we had more time to discuss it. Maybe you should visit us again, Sbuh, because maybe we should have Thenjiwe and Sbuh Sundays.
That would be awesome.
Ngizokufundisa amanye ama-Bible verses. It's very important that we understand that we do not come from the same circumstances. For someone who is stuck in a tin room house with 4 family members, it's hard to stay at home the whole day. When they say stay at home, also our leaders who have mansions, they are now seeing bedrooms they've never seen in their own houses. So it's easy for them. They say stay at home, but they have maids, their maids haven't gone home. They have cleaners, they have technology, they have internet. For someone who has no internet, who has no smartphone, who's staying at home, it's frustrating. And we also need to address issues of mental illnesses. Even I myself, when I came back from America, number one, when you are self-quarantining, I was lucky that I wasn't put in these quarantining places. I had to self-quarantine myself at home. But you worry because you don't know, did I catch this thing in my travels? I was in New York in the epicenter of it all. Am I going to be sick? Oh my God, I hope I don't have it. I hope I don't give it to my family. And I just didn't feel like creating. I had no creative bone.
Yeah.
And it was hard. So it's okay to be lazy. People are busy saying, you must find something to do. If you haven't learned anything by the time we get out of lockdown, it's okay to not want to do anything. Exactly. What we need right now is impilo.
Exactly.
And it's very embarrassing when we see our leaders who are supposed to be looking after us doing things such as, why are they things like guys?
I've seen that.
Who must get this grocery? Why are you dividing meal? Whose hands have touched this meal? Why? Like, it's so embarrassing. And these are our people who are supposed to be looking after us.
Umndeni waphi lo ozodla lo kakudla?
Lalela, basho bazoshaya ngementshisi. Usawoti is bigger. Salt is more than the rice and the sugar. And the what you Amazamba now 4 or 5. And when they are saying the Batik Rosaleana, it costs 1,200.
Ayikho lo nto mfethu. Bese uyibuza ukuthi imali iphiki. Because le nto ngeke ifike ngisho ku 500 rand. Bese uyibuza ukuthi where's the money. So it's difficult mfethu when we also have, you know, people that are supposed to be leading us kube kuyibona futhi abamoshayo, you know. It's so sesingabagxeka nje abantu, but kunzima.
It is very difficult. We need to unite, lend a hand where you can. If you know someone, if you know a neighbor, there are even people who are homeless. If you know a neighbor, you know they do not have food, buy them a bag of rice, buy them something, and uNkulunkulu will bless you. uNkulunkulu blesses the hand. True story, Sister Thenjiwe comedy. Zincane lezindlu, we can't even take a walk in our. Yes, that is so true. There is, and some people also have much more serious issues to worry about, because it's easy for people in power to be saying things like, oh, don't pay your rent. Some of us are renting where we don't even have contracts.
Exactly.
Elections, they don't write contracts. And also, how fair is that on a black landlord who feeds his family with the money they get from rent? How fair is that on a black landlord who pays their children's school fees on a month? That's a topic for another day. I think we should have Sbuh back, guys. Please, what do you say? I think it's been so lovely to have you. If cross nighter like people are saying.
And esengizwile ukuthi une-potential ya 5 hours. So
but please sing for us before you go.
You should see your face.
But
you should see.
I didn't want ukubulala ama-favors
just in case uthi angathepha ngoblue tick.
Sithenjiwe simele 350 siyokokota. Ngicela nithole, get financial advisors, guys. I don't want you to be like football players and waste those 350.
350.
Futhi ningaziphakamisi imali yamshintsha umuntu. Ngicela nithandaze ukuthi uNkulunkulu anigcine ningayiphakamisi imali. I've seen people change because of money. Ucela usiculele.
Kodwa ngicinga before ngicule ngokubuza ukuthi abantu bayithatha imali yokuthola ama-financial advisor. 350.
I mean, you know the annoying ones, the ones who comment. I know this comment has nothing to do with your post, but Mama Zahara, help me.
No Bitcoin, nonsense.
Yes, no Forex, no Bitcoin. They're gonna get those.
Thenjiwe.
Sbuh.
Uyangizwa?
No. Funda, I want you to read the comments.
Next Sunday is Thenjiwe.
I don't want you to think I'm being obsessed about you.
It's locked down, but so
I
angikho sure ke ngokhetha kodwa ke hey.
If he's still single next week.
Ay naye ka 350.
252 namaphoyisa afuna ukugwazelwa nawo khona lapho.
Hayi kunzima bafethu ngeke
yazi. Let me valelisa so uSbuh yavalelisa bese yacula. Mase uculile asisabuyi because ngesize siqede. I can see us starting another hour. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for your support. Tomorrow, guess who I have tomorrow at 4?
Ban.
I have traditional healers.
Jesus.
They have things they need to say to the leaders of this country because they are worried about how they are being treated. They are worried that the Hotela Bezinja are still operating in South Africa, but they are not allowed to operate. So please do join us. It's going to be a good conversation. I'll be having a conversation with South African traditional healers. Please, please do join us. Sbuh.
Before ngicule, can I just say Happy Mother's Day to you, Sis Thenjiwe, nabo bonke omama across the world. Siyanibonga, siyadonga ukuthi nisibekezelele nisikhulise Nkosi yami nokuhlupha kwethu size sigcine sisiba ngaka. Siyafisa futhi ukuthi sinenzele izinto ezinhle nisaphila uNkulunkulu anibusise. Awusho ukuthi ngicule yiphi ingoma kodwa?
Siyabonga. Okay, guys, what ngoma do you want Sbuh to cula?
Did you just say what ngoma?
Yes.
I don't know. You tell me. I don't know.
Tomorrow's time is 4 p.m. Cela usurprise Sbuh.
No, mina ngizobe
Ngithanda zonke ziney'ngoma zakho uney'ngoma ofeaturisha kuzona sonke siyayithanda. Cela usurprise. What's your favorite? Sing us your mother's favorite song because it's Mother's Day.
Okay. Ingoma kama ikhona na kwi-album yami. Unfortunately, it's titled Medley kama. But I'm just gonna sing the
Someone already requested it. Did you
I
see?
see. But kune party la kuleyo ngoma ethi.
Okay, looks like people want it.
Okay. Chalo ngovuma, chalo ngovuma, giphinde githinje ungisondeze ngisonde zenkosi kuwe manje kuyisithunywa ke kuyisithunywa sokungisiza kodwa ke ngiya sonke la Nkosi kuwe manje. Yeah, okay, ngizoma lapho.